Hey everyone, welcome back to Real Talk.
With real siblings.
I'm Joy.
And I'm Moses, and we're here talking about the most recent episode of Big Brother 22 All Stars, the Sunday nomination episode. So today we got a lot going on. So we're going to
Yes.
talk about the episode. We're also going to talk about some stuff we've learned from the feeds. As we know, the feeds are a bit ahead. They've already done the veto competition, so we're going to get to that.
Spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
So let's start off with Cody. So fresh off his HOH win, we already see people going into his room, talking to him. He's already putting together the people he trusts, the people he doesn't trust, figuring things out and trying to kind of create a pecking order in the house. So how do you feel about that so far?
So yeah, one of the first people we see that like runs up to his room is Nicole, who BB Twitter has already brought back her old nickname of Rat Cole. So
Racco.
Nicole's in there. And I was waiting to see this episode because I really wanted to get Cody's like honest take in the DR session as to how he feels about Nicole. And I was bummed to see that he really trusts Nicole. So they're pretty solid. Like he tells Nicole, hey, it's me or you, me and you. Nicole's like, hey, she's going to create a girls alliance. Cody will create a guys alliance. They'll feed each other information. And then we get to the diary room and Cody's all about it.
So like aside from the fact that that plan just logistically is a nightmare to organize and put together, it's just also not a smart plan, right? Because like you ideally want to be in alliance with the people who you have common interests with. And there's going to be some women in the alliance with whatever proposed Nicole Cody alliance would be. And they'd be like, Nicole, what? Like your lines would get crossed so fast of like someone who is a girl who's also working with Cody who sees you betraying all the other girls and they'll be like, hey, stop. I don't know what was going on in their head. I guess she thought it would be her and Cody right till they died. I don't know. That was a dumb
They
idea.
would I agree. The lines would get crossed so fast. And here's the thing, Nicole is not that kind of strategic player
Yeah.
that can keep those two things separate. If we had like a Vanessa or even a Janelle or someone who's more strategic, yeah, they could possibly play both sides, do it well, not get their info crossed and, not spread information to their team that they're not supposed to. Nicole can't keep it together. Day one, the first 3 days on the feeds, she spent crying because she felt like she didn't fit in. And I don't know. I think some of it was real. I do think some of it was strategy,
Sure.
but we can get into that a little bit later.
Yeah. On the other side of a Rat Cole, we have J. Cole. Janelle is the queen of the house. And of course, everyone's already gunning for her. Everyone already understands that she's the person to beat. She just exudes that aura and that confidence. And we have her right-hand man, Kaysar. And they've already jumped out to both a lead and a deficit, right? They're already kind of at the forefront of their own budding alliance with other people who really are flocking to their charisma, but they're also a target, of course.
Definitely. The one thing I was really happy to see, though, and we saw it in this episode, and we're going to see it on the feeds, and we'll talk about it a bit later as well, is that Kaysar is making a more concerted effort to play a social game. You really see him.
Yeah.
He's talking to everybody. He's talking to David and, talking to David about, okay, what was your motivation for wanting to come back and that sort of thing. He's talking to Cody. He's, on the feeds, you see him in every single room. He's really making sure to include himself in every single conversation and work more on his social game, knowing that, of course, the whole house and especially Cody already sees him as the threat. So I think even though they certainly are a threat, I'm hoping through what looks like both of them working on a solid social game that they can, get some of the heat off of them for the next couple of weeks.
Speaking of Kaysar and Janelle, they are the targets, as we said. So what's happened this week is Cody and Enzo and his little alliance of Enzo, Memphis, Nicole, Tyler, he's already good with.
And Danny.
There's a lot of rumors about pre-gaming and all the machinations that went to putting alliances together.
We will get to that because I think
that's
having a huge effect on how the game is being played right now and what we're seeing.
For better and for worse.
Yes.
We all hate Nicole, and she's only here because of pre-gaming. So what happened on this episode, at least what was shown, was that Cody was really thinking about Janelle and Kaysar. They were his prime targets. And then they revealed the twist of the safety suite. They explained what it is and how it works. You want to give us that rundown?
Yeah. So the way the safety suite works is that the safety suite is open for a period of time. It's going to be there the entire summer, but it's only open for a period of time. And you can only go inside once. So when you go in, there's a competition. If you win the competition, you're safe. not only are you safe, you get to pick someone else who will also be safe. So that's huge. I mean, you're going to have two people potentially safe every week. So the great side is that you're safe, your partner's safe. The downside is that you can only use it once, so you have to be strategic as to, when you really think you have to use it. And two, in picking the other person that's safe, you're showing your hand. You're showing the whole house who's your closest alliance. But,
Yeah.
Kaysar's in tune with what's going on in the house. He talks to Cody. He gets a sense that I don't think Cody's going to save me. So we see him and Janelle make the decision to play in the safety suite.
They do. And I think a lot of people were a bit confused as to why they both played. I saw an explanation on Twitter that said basically there was the possibility of them timing out. If they time out, then they don't win. However, if two people both time out, then they compete in another tiebreaker competition and one of them wins. So if Kaysar went by himself and he timed out, he may not have gotten safety. If Janelle did the same, she would not have gotten safety.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I wondered about that. I was like, why did Janelle go too? I was like, maybe it was a thing where like two people have to go, one person can't go. But that's good to know that like, yeah, I guess if that Kaysar had just gone and if he had timed out, then, that would have been the end of it for him. So
yeah,
makes
so it
sense
actually wasn't smart. And of course it makes sense. At the time, I know it seems like, how do these smart players make such a dumb move? But it made sense. So Kaysar went in, and the competition was a DJing competition. It was really cool, I thought. Like for a Big Brother competition, I thought it was kind of dope. I would have liked it. I like music. I could have done it. I would have won. But what happened, so they played them a song, and they basically had to hit these buttons to replay that song. The buttons were out of order, and they had to loop back, so it was a complicated thing. Kaysar and Janelle both played. Kaysar dominated. Janelle actually kind of struggled. She did pretty poorly. But Kaysar won, and of course, he saved Janelle. And Janelle's reaction was, what did you think?
She was like, oh my God, me? She's like, me? You're going to save me, the person who's been in an alliance with you for 10 years and played on your side every time we played Big Brother? Oh my God, I can't believe it. It's like, somebody give this girl an Oscar. I was like, you play too much, Janelle. Like, stop it.
I couldn't tell if it was let's pretend we're not that close, or if it was like just a way. Somebody posted like, that's a really good way to piss off the people gunning for you, to act like, oh, wow, how could I? Oh, KK, what a crazy thing. So I'm sure it did piss those people off, but it also seemed like kind of just bad acting for the most part.
I agree. I do have to rant a little bit about this DJ competition. I was not a fan. Like, the concept of it at first seemed cool. Like they go as like, we've never seen something like that. Like, and I love music. So I'm like, oh, cool. Like it's going to be some kind of DJ thing. But like, number one, the song they played was stupid. It was a bit too long. And then the way they were playing, you couldn't really get a sense of like who was winning, like, or how long it was taking. Like, at the end, Kaysar got 7 minutes and like the other one got, or Janelle got like 15 minutes or something like that. You couldn't really tell. And like usually in a game, the audience, the viewers, we know what the answers are, right? Generally, we know, okay, hey, he needs to get that ball into this hole, or, there may be a missing piece over there. Like in editing, they might show us like, oh, like an OTEV, like whatever. But I don't know. I just got a sense like you can figure out like who was winning or how well they were doing, or how, if they were going to do it in a short amount of time or a long amount of time. I thought it was stupid.
I guess I thought it was similar to like, I liked it. I love this comp. I thought it was similar to like the BB Comics one, where they swing by on that thing and they have to look for the differences. Like, we don't really know, but at the end it tells. Also, this is a great opportunity for production to just hijack the scores and give whatever they want to whoever they want, which I know they do. Hey, I don't know. I liked it. Whatever.
Yeah.
I thought that remix was lit. The Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I was slamming. It was killing it.
It sounded like a 1999 like Nokia ringtone.
99.
I was like, what is this? I was like, what is this? Can we come on? This is All Stars. Like, y'all got a better budget. But so anyway, Kaysar and Janelle won, so they're safe now.
So after Kaysar and Janelle won, then Cody put up the nominations. He couldn't nominate Kaysar and Janelle. He instead nominated Kevin and Keisha, which was kind of funny because Kevin like went to him right before and like did this sob story thing and tried to like really garner sympathy. And Cody was like, man, it totally worked. You're going on the block. So that's what happened.
I actually felt really bad for Kevin. Like he's just, I mean, in the feeds, you see that he's really expressed feeling isolated and not feeling connected. And like the house broke into two separate groups so quickly and he feels like he doesn't fit in. So I think he was actually being honest when he went there and was kind of crying his eyes out to Cody. But Cody's not the person to cry to. Like Cody.
Bro, it's like day 3, my guy. Chill out. What do you mean you feel isolated? Fam, it's been 3 days. 72 hours.
I felt bad for him. I felt bad for him.
Well, we'll agree to disagree on that. He's on the block. I don't necessarily want him to go home. really care between either of them, but he is on the block, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love Keisha, and I loved that they brought her back, but I feel like she's not playing the game. Like, I feel like she's just kind of there. And so while I wanted her to come back in and I was super excited when she walked in, I wouldn't be mad if she was the first out.
Yeah, yeah, no. I mean, I think everyone else wants David out first, just because he's kind of almost self-evicted by how oblivious and unconnected to the game he's been.
We will get to that later. I got to, let me tell you,
Actually,
I
let's
have
get to that
something to
now.
tell you about David.
Let's get to that now, because we're going to transition now to talking about the state of the house currently, right? Going into next
Yes.
week's episode of the veto competition and the eviction. So,
Yes.
veto competition has been held. We don't
Yes.
know the details of the competition. At least I don't. Did you catch any details?
No, no.
Okay, I'm sure some people do, but
It was
we're
some sort of like building thing, like some sort of building thing, blocks maybe, where at the end it kind of came down to Keisha and Enzo, and there was a little controversy as to the winner.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll get a better picture of like what the competition was like on Wednesday.
But the winner was Enzo, who is again on the Cody side of the house. So one side, like as I said, is Cody, Nicole F, of course, Tyler, Enzo, Danny, Memphis, Christmas, and then kind of David if he's there. And the other side is Janelle, Kaysar, Keisha, Ian, Nicole A, Kevin, and then Bay and Davon are kind of like
Kind of in the middle.
in between.
Yeah.
They're friends with both. I know Davon and Janelle connected. I know Bay is connected with other people. It's a lot. So
yeah, I think both sides right now are actually seem to be vying for Bailey, because Janelle and Bailey have a really good relationship. Cody really likes Bailey and wants to work with her. So she could kind of be, she's kind of right now the person in the middle that both sides are trying to see if they can court and get her vote on their side.
Yeah. So what is this news about David? What do you got?
Look, yo, I saw this on the feeds. I think it was yesterday. And I was like, is this guy, is he serious? He was asking Cody to explain veto to him.
Yeah.
He was like, so Cody, so they're up in the HOH room and it's David, Cody, and I think another girl, but they don't show her in the frame. And David's like, hey, so Cody, could you explain like what is the whole veto thing about? And Cody initially laughs, as you would in the Big Brother house, like
on
what?
All Stars,
like,
to be clear.
On All Stars. And he wasn't saying like when is veto going to be held. He was just like, what? He's like, what's the veto competition? What's like, how does that work? He essentially was like, how does that work? And Cody laughs and he's like, wait, what do you mean? Like what? And he didn't know how veto works. And I'm like, and I, some people online were trying to defend him of like, well, he went home day one. Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
I've never been in the Big Brother house, and I know how veto works. So if you've been in the house, like you have no excuse.
Yeah.
No excuse. And so I have to I have to apologize, and I have to walk it back, because our first episode, I said I'm excited about David. He, at least in his season, he got out, he was evicted the first day, but he had a lot of, he had a lot of promise. He had a lot of, he was intuitive. He doesn't have a clue. He does not have a clue.
No clue.
He does not have a clue.
I will reserve the possibility that this is his master plan to come off like such a dum-dum. Nobody wants to waste an eviction on him. But we'll find out.
I mean, if he wants to be a goat that's dragged all the way to the end, I mean, maybe that's his plan. I mean, who was Derek's goat? What was the name of that girl that Derek dragged all the way to the end? Victoria. Yeah. If he wants to be another Victoria, I mean, if that's how he wants to be remembered, that's his legacy.
Yeah.
Yo, who am I to critique?
See what happens.
Yeah. So we have Kevin and Keisha. They're both on the block. Enzo has the power of veto. Is he going to use it? I don't think so. It's probably like a 0% chance he'll use it, because he's firmly on Cody's side, and I think Cody wants to keep it the same. But we'll know for sure on Wednesday's episode.
So that's it. That's all from us. It was a good episode. We're looking forward to next week. Make sure to like and subscribe down below or wherever these things happen. And we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.